we're going to one of the shores, and he got himself a nice pair of shorts. We sat back and listened to the music all day. And so when I got back home, I got to thinking, you know, we got to have something private for John. We got to do something good. And in law school, John and I did our first year together in law school. I was a deputy sheriff, and he had come down here to go to Barry University, and I had said, I'm going to go to Barry, and I was working daytime for the sheriff's office, and I would go to law school at night. Well, my first year, I met John. I met a few, first night, yeah. We were the first ones. We were like maybe the first class at the Barry. It wasn't even Barry then, it was University of Orlando, School of Law.
We sat there and looked at each other.
We looked at each other, we go, we're the only ones going to an unaccredited law school. But, you know,
Tom remembers that.
They promise it's going to get accredited next year. So we became very good friends with our professors. They were amazing, actually, and we're still good friends with several of them, at least by text and other ways. One of our professors was Ken Sprang.
Yeah.
Remember Ken?
Yeah.
He taught our property class. So Ken was amazing because after we became friends the first year. Then I transferred and said, you know what, I'm going to take a resignation from the sheriff's office and go to law school full time. And John said, I'm going to continue on here. But our friendship never stopped. We maintained contact. When I would come back from FSU, I would go and see John, and he would be taking this class, and I'd be taking that class. And all through law school, we remained friends.
Absolutely.
And so after John got out of law school, I remember him calling me. I think, well, we got out about the same time, graduated. He called me one day. He's like, Dan, I just settled $1 million case. I go, what the hell? How did you do this? I'm barely out of law school. And he's like, got myself a new Rolex, got $2 million. I'm like, personal injury, what is that? And I was doing criminal defense, remember? And I'm like, well, he said, you know, you represent people that are injured, you do this. I go, I love this kind of work. And by the way, that's ridiculous, the money that you made. 6 months out of law school, I'm making $35,000 a year. So anyway, John was like, you know, he told me all about this case that he had in Kentucky, and that it was, you know, this, and his brother-in-law Tom, they were working on this big case right out of law school. So we maintained this friendship, and John was always very humble about that, although he did like to show me his Rolex quite often when we would go to lunch. And we would meet at Doc's for lunch, and we would meet on Orange Avenue, and I was doing this and I was doing that. Long story short, I eventually went to work with Morgan about 3 or 4 years there. I said, I really need somebody that will have my back, will help me grow my office. And will you leave? At the time, John had taken a job with the state, Children and Families, helping kids and parents going through that very difficult process of, you know, losing your child. So I said, will you please consider leaving and coming to work with me and Lisa and a few other great people. I just have a very small office. Actually, they've squeezed me into a closet at the Morgan firm. And that was no joke. I said, but
Pound's law, that's all.
But we will have a great opportunity together.
Right, absolutely.
And I said, and he used to come down to all my free concerts and everything I was doing. John was my biggest cheerleader. Come down, we would enjoy Joan Jett, REO Speedwagon, Huey Lewis and the News, and he was always there by my side when I would go up on the stage. He was the biggest guy waving, going thumbs up. And, you know, good job. And so we enjoyed, you know, all of this time together through some lows and a lot of highs. And so when John got ready to leave the firm with us, when we left Morgan to go, of course he was involved in the whole planning process and the whole leaving process. And like, we're gonna make it through this. You're gonna make it, Dan. You're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. I'm like, John, I mean, we're, you know, this person left in the middle of the night. This person did this. I talked to Mary. Dan, well, I won't tell you what she said. Don't worry about those other people. Just stay focused. You're going to make it through. So even Mary was behind John and then behind me the whole way as we've struggled to open up our new firm. And so we've had some really good times, and we've had some deep times where we didn't know, really, quite honestly, if the next year we were going to be open or not. But John was always there, and he was working strong and training and helping, and 24/7. At one time, all the call that we did.
Thankful to Dan because he felt no problem calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah.
I said, John, what do you think?
Yeah, and I would, and Mary would tell him, tell him that he's going to be okay.
Well, it's the middle of the night. She's sleeping with her husband.
You're going to make it through. So, you know, when John said, well, we're selling our house, we're going to the beach and all that, I said, John, you got to work in Melbourne. You know, you can't be driving around here, driving all the way back to Orlando. It's ridiculous. We're going to make a nice office for you over there in Melbourne. You're going to enjoy, which I think you have, and you've enjoyed this area. But so Ken Sprang was our first professor, going back to Ken. And one of the things that Ken taught us was about tenancies. Remember tenancies? Tenancies in common, tenancies in this, tenancy in that.
Entirety.
So about 2 months ago, I flew over here, and I said, I got to get John a house on the beach and give him a tenancy for life. And so this house that you're in right now is your house for your life. And everything is paid. Your property taxes for life, everything is paid. This house you will enjoy.
And you can go fishing on your dock for life.
You and Mary will enjoy.
We're ready for that. We're ready.
John, you're my neighbor.
We're not ready for that.
But in all seriousness, this house is your house for the rest of your living life.
So this is a life residency?
It is. So Ken Sprang did teach us something very important.
So live long.
Holy smokes.
Yes.
Doctor, help me.
So this will be your view every night until the day that you go to a better place in life.
And I will be your neighbor.
We're talking about positives.
That's the best positive part of this whole situation.
It's real. It's real.
It's real.
Totally real.
With one small contingency. One small contingency that my 14-year-old daughter can come over and ride her jet ski. Okay, there you go. And Catherine's already your
Let's take all the dogs in. How about the pups?
And by the way, your neighbor over here with the jet skis and the Boston Whaler, he said, I can't wait to meet your neighbor.
Back to fishing, Johnny. Back to fishing.
Yay! We're gonna get crab traps.
Enjoy, Mary.
I mean, I'm going to take it. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Enjoy. I know, honey. I want you and John to enjoy this house and enjoy the views and enjoy. Well, John is a unique. This is not just from me. I think every friend here says that John is the only person in life that I could even think of doing something for this. You and John.
Amen.
So enjoy.
I can't.